My phone in airplane mode. It's getting alerted constantly.
209 into ground control. We're loaded and ready to taxi.
I know the feeling. Just got my, I hadn't had an Apple Watch in a couple of years. Now that I do, I'm constantly having to silence it 'cause it's annoying. I guess any notification you get on your phone, you get on your watch.
I think it's set up like that initially. Yeah. You have to slowly change it. I need a Red Bull.
It's amazing to me how many people drink those things. I don't know why.
What, Red Bulls?
Yeah,
You don't
and
like
related drinks.
Ever had a Red Bull? I never had a Red Bull before, but I had a Red Bull last night. I really like Red Bull.
You don't like them?
No, not really.
Yeah. I do.
I mean, once or twice a year, maybe. Just cracking them like 16-ounce monsters.
Oh, yawning.
Not for me. You might need one, though.
Oh, my gosh. All right. This is a series for financial advisors. We offer easy-to-implement marketing and practice management advice. This is the Stephen and Kevin Show.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Stephen and Kevin Show. This is episode number 123. Today, we are talking about our 2025 Financial Advisor Research, 6 must-know marketing trends.
Yeah, and you'll notice we have, if you're watching via video, we have hard copies in front of us. You can grab a copy at oechsli.com/research. You can get access to what we're talking about today. You can kind of follow along.
Just a little bit of history here. We do both financial advisor research and research on the affluent, so we can stay in tune with what's working for the best financial advisors. What are they trying? What are their feelings towards certain marketing efforts? And it really helps shape all the recommendations that we offer through our coaching programs, our speaking engagements, and our digital marketing offerings.
Yeah, absolutely. It shapes the direction, the strategy for that we recommend here at Oechsli for financial advisors. So this particular study, it was done on 440 financial advisors, and we asked them an array of questions when it comes to their marketing, what's working, what's not working, et cetera. And you'll notice as we go through this, we'll reference advisors who are bringing in sometimes upwards of 20 million net new assets a year, and some who aren't, right? And it's really looking at these correlations to see, okay, what are these high performers doing that's different than everyone else?
Yes, exactly right. I mean, if we were doing research and our findings came out as boring as everybody tries for referrals,
right?
I think we would get bored of it. You would get bored of it. So we try to tease out some interesting findings with regards to what impact does it have to post more often on social versus not posting? What impact does it have to offer your services more often in social settings? Are top performers more likely to do that? So on and so forth.
Yep, exactly. So we're going to go through these findings with you today, and all of these are kind of formatted as proclamations.
Well, and the opening statement of the entire guide is that accepting an occasional referral isn't a marketing strategy.
Mm-hmm.
It's very true. And we find that a lot of times when we're talking to somebody for the first time, they're asking us about our services, how we'd be able to help. And we might ask them, what are you doing right now for growth? And if that person tells you, well, we get referred from time to time, we know they're probably not that active in marketing themselves. There are probably some recommendations that we could make that we could push them into doing that would be beneficial.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because everybody gets referrals.
I mean, hopefully you get some sort of referrals, but how do we be more strategic with it? How do we be more proactive? That's kind of what we're talking about today.
In contrast, Kevin, you find somebody who's really heavy into marketing. They're bringing in tons of new business. You ask them, what are you doing for marketing? They're going to go down through a litany of things that they've planned for in advance, a lot of different activities they're trying, the way they're tracking these things. Mm-hmm. They're excited about it. And that's what we want all of you to be as well.
So the first kind of key point from this study is, number one, is marketing means experimentation. What we found is that advisors who are bringing in 20 million in net new assets per year have a much more diverse marketing mix compared to those who are bringing in less than 5 million in net new assets per year.
And in general, the rank order of things that people are trying, probably not a big surprise to any of you out there, referrals and introductions, number one by a mile, then networking, social media, referral alliances, client events, and then down the list. Mm-hmm. Now, tried and true, nothing revolutionary about that list of things. You notice the biggest difference between the top performers and those not bringing in as much in terms of new assets. And when we make those comparisons, generally we call the top performers those bringing in 20 million or more in new assets. Those that are on the lesser side of that bring in less than 5 million in new assets. The ones bringing in 20 million or more were twice as likely to be trying referral alliances, pretty much twice as likely to be trying client events. They're experimenting. They're trying different things. You know, I've always said you have to reserve the right to change your mind from time to time. You know, and people get hung up emotionally sometimes on marketing strategies that might have led to growth in their early years, and they can never let it go. And they're somehow emotionally tied to these things as part of being part of their story.
Right.
Right. As opposed to saying, you know what, I know long ago I ruled out the idea of working any referral alliances, that I didn't really want to partner with accountants and attorneys. I felt like it was a waste of time. Sometimes you've got to challenge your own beliefs and say, well, if other people are doing and it's seeing success, if these top performers are bringing in more assets this way, yeah, maybe I ought to give it another shot.
Yeah, or something like even something a little bit newer age right now, like video. Right, you have 14% of advisors in the study saying that they are using video marketing, and maybe you started off and you did cold calling. Right, there's a point at which you say, you know what? Look, 14%. That, by the way, I don't know the numbers, but I bet that number is climbing every single year. And it's like, you know, at some point I need to experiment with that. I need to put myself out there. I need to scale my message a little bit more and try something new.
It's more fun operating a business where you are doing some experimentation. It's the only real way to find out what's going to work for you. You could ask around, is video working in your practice? You could look for every bit of data in the world to support it. Really, the best way is let's give it a try.
Yeah, agreed. All right, so that's number one. Marketing means experimentation. Again, we're finding that the advisors who are bringing in more business have a more diverse marketing mix overall. The second one, this one's a little bit of a hot button for me, Stephen, and it's number two here is referrals are not dead. And we picked that title and wrote that title very intentionally because we see articles, especially in the fintech space, that say things like, referrals are dead, the death of referrals, right? And I get it. You know, I get why they put out those types of articles. But when you take a look at our research on this, right, the advisors who are bringing in that 20 million more in net new assets, referrals, introduction, centers of influence are like they're doing way more of those things.
Yeah, you can look at the gaps here. Those who brought in 20 million or more, 31% of them could report getting 10 or more referrals, in contrast to only 6% of those who brought in less than 5 million in new assets. So, you know, more or less, they're deriving a lot more of their business from referrals than the average advisor.
Yeah. So that makes you think about how do we be more proactive with referrals? What are things that we can do that are going to generate more buzz? So it could be anything from more surprise and delight. It could be, you know, obviously client service is a big one. We're also thinking about things like introductions, like not waiting around for referrals necessarily, but being proactive about asking people to introduce us to others.
Yeah, and think about referrals as less of a marketing ploy and more of an extension of you doing a really, really good job for people. Mm-hmm. I mean, that breaks down to if I'm doing a really, really good job for you, you're probably going to tell your buddies about it.
So referrals are not dead. They're alive. They're well. They're thriving for the advisors who are bringing in 20 million or more in net new assets.
No, and it sparks a larger point, Kevin, about the complementary nature of digital marketing and traditional. Digital is not going anywhere. It's going to be around. It's going to have a larger impact as these younger generations get older and get more money. However, referrals are also going to be here forever, and they're being amplified by the way that we market ourselves online. Mm-hmm. You know, when somebody gets referred to you, they're going to look you up. All these things work in tandem.
We did research on that, right? I think our affluent research study this year said that what's the first thing that someone does after they get referred is they look you up online, right? So we have to think about that whole process and how it works.
Number 3, social prospecting is a mentality.
Oh, is it, Stephen?
It is. And it's a head game for some. Look at this data point. Second opinions offered in the past 12 months. 17% overall said 0. So basically 1 in 5 said, didn't do it at all.
Yep.
39% said between 1 and 4, which is next to 0. And you can see some differences in terms of those who brought in assets versus those who didn't bring in very many. 29% of those who brought in 20 million or more in assets offered their services to somebody like that, a second opinion, let's say, 10 or more times. So 29%, 10 or more times, versus 12% of those who brought in less than 5% of assets. So
that's a big gap.
You ask and you shall receive. These people they've got conviction in what they do. They're willing to share it with other people, and you can't be shy about it.
Yeah, no, I think this one's big. And that gap that you were talking about then in terms of number of requests, 10 or more, 29% versus 12%, that's a huge, huge jump. And it's asking, and when we say second opinion, by the way, it doesn't mean that you're necessarily using the word second opinion. Like, I'd like to give you a second opinion on your portfolio. We're just saying that you offered your services to someone, right, in some sort of way.
Yeah, we say it's a mentality because, sometimes, we don't have the full belief in what we do. Sometimes we're fearful of being seen as salesy. Sometimes and you look at some of the fears in this data, the challenges are not wanting to appear salesy, not having wealthy contacts, being challenged to ask for the business, not knowing what to say, not having confidence. It's all right here in our heads.
Yeah, it is. And so, I mean, you look at these numbers, you'd be thinking, if I'm an advisor and I'm looking at this as, I need to be doing this more, right? This is something I need to, obviously there's some sort of internal belief there, but I need to be offering my services more, knowing that, yes, some people are not going to be ready right now, but the advisors who are bringing in more business, they're offering their services more.
Yeah.
All right. Number 4. This one's interesting. This is getting into the tech side a little bit, and it is that Google is part of your future. Right.
Yeah, and I think more and more you can broaden that to say that, it used to be Google or Bing or Google or whatever somebody was using, but now it's going to be Google or AI is going to be part of your future
For sure.
in the way that people search for financial advisors locally. And we're seeing just the beginning of that. Google is more established in terms of, we get how Google ads work generally. We understand that if we want to be placed near the top of Google, we have to pay to be there. More and more so now. You look at the data points, those who brought in more than 20 million in new assets, almost a third of them had brought in a client from Google.
Yeah, that's
So
big.
evidence that they've invested in that platform and they're starting to see the benefit from it.
So it's either Google ads for them, or they're investing in SEO, or we're even thinking now broader in terms of AEO, right? Answer engine optimization, right? Which is really, really good SEO, which is really what it is. But being picked up by the chat GPTs when someone's asking for who are the top financial advisors in your location, that stuff, it takes time. It takes understanding the network, and it's work.
Yeah, and I think the first step is Googling and putting into AI for your own area. The question is if you were a consumer and seeing what it populates, what it prioritizes, because, some you'll find say, well, we're only going to list those that are fee only. We're only going to list those that are really highly reviewed in Google. Like, they all have different criteria they use to elevate you in search results.
So we're seeing this. We've seen this trend for a long time. I mean, it's coming. It's one that I say it's coming. It's already here, but it's one that's going to continue to become more and more important, especially the AEO component. And thinking ahead on that, thinking ahead, and just saying, if I want to be an option, what do I need to do as an advisor to start populating in some of these, especially the AI queries.
Absolutely. Number 5, websites outweigh offices.
I like this title a lot, but it's a little deceiving in a way.
Well, it's not as if we came up with that title because we believe it, although we do. We came up with that title because the results of the survey bore that out. I mean, when we asked what's more important to your marketing, your office or your website, 55% overall said their website.
Compared to 20% who said office.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like this data point, and if you're an advisor listening to this, I think that the takeaway is, how much am I spending on my website as compared to my office location? Knowing that my website, for the most part, most of you feel this way, is more important to your marketing and growth overall than your office. And I see this where advisors have this lavish office and then their website, gosh, is just a piece of junk.
Well, I mean, you can look at it. It can be severe. You could see somebody with a $10,000 a month office lease, and they spend $10,000 every 5 years on a website.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, there's some imbalance there,
Right?
And when you think about the volume of traffic from potential clients, it's certainly going to be on your site more so than your office. Don't go too cheap on your office, but don't be afraid to spend on your digital presence.
Yeah, I mean, think about that for a moment. Yeah, like where do I want to invest my money? And we think that a great website is, and by the way, a lot of times that's going to be your first impression with many of these with these leads, is worth putting the time and energy into. So thinking beyond just great design, but also thinking about the video assets that are there, and how do we knock someone's socks off?
And the positioning and branding of it. I mean, that, you could look at putting money into your office, your car,
Yeah.
your home, your wardrobe, or it comes a whole lot cheaper to put some of your money into, high-end video production, a really great website, things that are going to have more longevity and more connection to you as a professional
Yep.
than just looking like you're wealthy. And, it's kind of a yesteryear view on sales.
When you take a look at this too, in terms of the primary goal of a website, and this again, these are advisors reporting in on this. Majority say it's to showcase our firm, right? And that's to your point in terms of having really nice branding. Educating visitors is number 2. Capturing leads is number 3. And capturing leads will become bigger and more important and more prevalent as time goes on. But when you're thinking about that referral game that we talked about, and someone gets a referral and then they look you up, for many of you, it's, gosh, I need to present myself really well. And that goes down to the showcasing firm and the branding.
Yeah, and all these things work together. It's interesting. We phrased that question as you had to rank your primary focus. So you had to pick one.
Yeah.
But for those who picked, let's say you were the one who picked that you were one of the 16, 17% who said capture leads was your primary goal of your site. You're going to capture more leads if you're there if you've got the right branding to showcase your firm, and if you've got the right information there to educate people. Like all these things work in tandem.
Sure.
If you've got poor branding and really poor information,
I'm not going to give you my info.
no, what's the point? Yeah, you've got to kind of think making it useful to the visitor first, collecting their contact information second.
Right. Let's move on to number 6. So this is our final proclamation from our advisor study, and that is that video is a trust builder. Right. And and we know this. We know this personally. We put out a lot of video content, and we have our YouTube channel continues to grow and grow. It absolutely builds trust with people.
I'll give you a good example of this one, Kevin. I was just thinking about, I had some drainage issues in my backyard, and I had a few different vendors come out to look at it. Pretty involved project, and you don't really know who to go with. And this one guy, he hands me his card, and I noticed he had a YouTube channel on his card. And I thought, okay, I'm going to check it out. I look him up. Well, I watched an embarrassingly long amount, a lot of his videos.
Yeah,
it's kind of interesting. He's out there
on drainage.
Yeah, he's got the big equipment out. He's digging, all these ditches, laying pipes. And I'm like, this is pretty good. By the end of it, there was zero doubt in my mind who I wanted to call back and get out there to do the job.
Interesting. Yeah.
Right. I mean,
and we have to think about that from the whole sales process standpoint, that clients are going to do the same thing, right? They're going to look you up and they see some really helpful videos, and they go down that hole and they start watching a bunch. They see you have a decent number of subscribers, and they have a different perception of you.
Well, and think about this. The nature of the videos were him doing the work, having a passion. I mean, this sounds crazy, but he really wanted to think through where the water was going to flow, what materials should be used. You could tell
he talks you
he kind of
through
geeked out on that. So think about this. If I loaded the video of him and it was all about him staring directly into the camera and saying, we're the number one drainage, irrigation, blah, blah, blah in North Carolina. We've got X number of years of experience. I would look at that and be like, yeah, okay, great.
Right.
But giving advice, like the educational piece of this, explaining to people concepts that are helpful to them, I think draws them in and shows them more of your passion.
And it demonstrates that expertise. Like you're like, oh my gosh, this guy knows what he's doing.
Right.
Yeah. So what are some of the biggest challenges though? And these are reported from financial advisors when it comes to creating video content. Number 1 is I don't have the time. Gosh, I feel like I could use that challenge for almost anything.
We said before today, we don't really have time for this. But we're here. We're doing it.
Yeah. Do you feel like doing it? No, I don't feel like it, but we do it anyway. We set the time, we time block it, we make it a priority. We know that it's important. 24% said I don't have the time. Next one is I don't know what to say. 16% said that. If you don't know what to say, just think about what you're already saying. And we say that all the time. I mean, you're having conversations with clients. You could look through your inbox, your email. There's topics, there's things that are going on. And just, you don't have to reinvent this, right? Think about the little nuggets of advice that you give on a regular basis. That's your content. Mm-hmm. That's the stuff that you start putting out. So don't overthink that whatsoever. I don't have the equipment or support to do it. What would you say to someone who said that to you?
I get it. I mean, some people aren't that technically inclined. They don't want to look like a novice.
Yeah.
And they don't have that expertise. You got to get some help.
Yeah,
somebody in your life knows. I mean, the good thing is if you have an ounce of technical background or some photography skills, there's somebody in your life that can help you set up in a basic way. We're not talking about a really elaborate studio setup. We're talking about maybe a little better lighting and background and camera in your office to capture videos.
That's it.
Yeah, we're not going nuts here.
When you look at the number of videos that have been recorded by financial advisors over the past 12 months, the zero was 68%.
68% did not record a video in the last year.
So, again, if you want to get ahead of everybody else, you just record a video. You record one video, right? You're outside of that 68%. 1 to 5 videos, 21%, and then everything else is really, really low. These are just not enough videos. There's not enough videos happening, right? And what's going to happen, what is happening, because we see advisors doing this, is that the advisors who are putting out content consistently, building these thriving YouTube presences in particular, they're the ones who are building the subscribers. They're the ones who are getting more leads and more clients right now from video content.
Well, building an audience they'll be able to get back in front of for years to come.
Yeah.
And this isn't about money. I mean, we talk to new advisor audiences pretty often, and we say video is an equalizer for you. You don't need a huge budget to be able to do video. You can do some DIY editing if you must. You can hire someone to edit for you.
Right.
But it's really more about the effort, planning what you're going to say, sitting down and actually doing the recording and doing it consistently, which means a couple of times a month. And for the folks doing 12 or more videos a year, that was 7% of advisors.
Yeah.
It's a really low bar there.
Yeah. And one of the things that we do at Oechsli is we actually log in with you and direct you, right? We actually walk you through it. So it's like we time block it for you. Oh gosh, it's almost like think of it like you have a personal trainer at the gym who's waiting there for you. We have the time, we're ready for you, we have the script ready. You just got to get on, you got to deliver it, and we're going to give you feedback as you deliver it.
Yeah, it helps. I mean, because it's not, it's one of those important but not urgent things that we all push off.
So those are our 6 big takeaways from this study. Marketing means experimentation. Referrals aren't dead. Social prospecting is a mentality. Google's part of your future. Websites outweigh offices. Video is a trust builder. If you'd like a copy of this, again, go to oechsli.com/research and you can download it.
In exchange for your email address.
And then you're put into a sequence. And I'm kidding.
Thanks, everybody.